today we are out at UBC. That's the University of British Columbia. So 25 years ago, when I was 12 years old, I started coming out here all the time. And it was a very different place, full of a lot of older buildings. Now let's take a quick look at what it looks like now. As you can see, it's pretty much construction sites everywhere, new buildings. But anyways, I don't even know what's here anymore, so I just wanted to have a street skating day and find the spots out at UBC. So first off, where I am sitting right now is what looks very similar to a handrail that a famous Canadian skateboarder did back in the mid-90s. Let's see if any of you guys can recognize it. It's not the exact same one because it's got a kink at the bottom, and the other one was actually down there where the construction is. But who recognizes what this looks like? Remember, no kink at the bottom. Okay, so the first person who can name what trick was done in what video by who will get nothing and like it.
I want a hamburger, no, a cheeseburger. I want a hot dog, I want a milkshake, I want potato chips. You'll get nothing and like it.
Alright, so now I'm gonna rip around and see if I can find any of the old spots I used to skate. So this used to be my favorite stair spot, but they even took that away and made it sucky. So you can actually still see the old stairs. This enclosure didn't used to be here. And you can see where they've joined these new stairs right here. And that's what these are like. And they're kind of similar, but they used to come out longer this way and longer that way, and it was two stairs over here. The ground wasn't sloped like this as much, and it wasn't brick. But we gotta skate something, so let's start here. Do one of my old school tricks. When you're almost 37, it's easier to go up the stairs than down them. Glare sucks at this spot. I can't get any good angles. Time to go somewhere else. Ledge. That grind's super nice. Look chunkier than it is. So this spot would actually be super sweet for a line because there's another taller ledge right there and then something you can do a trick over. That's not happening today. I was out late, had a wedding last night, so I'm super foggy today. I've been skating too many skate park ledges. I gotta remember the 90s way of nose grinding, doing it like 1 foot off the end and turning it over a bit so you can just like plow through them chunks. Too chunky. Alright, so this spot's fun, but I got lots more ground to cover, so let's be moving on. So right around the corner here, we're gonna go down these steps, and we got another spot. Okay, so we got some unskatable ledges. but they didn't used to be. Some of you guys might recognize these. So as you can see, we have like a nice long ledge, pretty tall too, across this grass gap or dirt gap that's probably at least 8 feet long. So the ledge is probably about 10 feet long. So my brother Ted killed these ledges back in the late 90s. So I know he did a kickflip backside tail slide kickflip out on these. He might have done a backside tail slide big spin flip out. And he definitely did a frontside tail slide 360 flip to fakie. And then right after he does that, he goes and does a switch laser flip on flat. And we're talking 99. This was probably the summer of 99. And right around the corner from those ledges, we have this crazy gap right here off this stage and then down these steps. And it's tall, like here I am standing here. So it's 8 feet tall because my hand reaches up to 8 feet. And fellow Canadian, Ryan Outen did an ollie down this way back in the day, early 2000s or late 90s, can't remember. And then immediately down the street we have a couple more spots you guys might recognize. So here we are, got this cool tile ground and then a giant 14 stair. Sorry, can you guys even hear me? We got a 14 stair right here. Crazy rough ground. It's been in lots of videos. Guys do tricks down the rails, guys have done tricks down the stairs onto this horrific ground. And then up these steps, we have something that you guys might recognize. All right, so who recognizes these rails and who can name what pro did what down this in what video? Once again,
You'll get nothing and like it.
So there's nothing here somebody of my caliber can skate, so let's be moving on. Just around the corner, 1 minute away. So behind me and down these steps we have the UBC Rose Garden. And this curb right here, well, it looks old now, but 25 years ago it was brand new and we used to skate it all the time. So there's also this ledge here. And these hedges weren't so grown in, so you could totally skate these ledges. And I remember learning salad grinds and susky grinds on these. And it is a ledge, you can see. It's gotta be a good 10 inches high. This spot was fun. Okay, you guys remember that spot where I talked about Uncle Ted getting credit carded real bad? Well, this is the wheelchair ramp right here. Let's see if I can one-up him 25 years later. All right, that's good enough. It's super peaceful here with people all looking at stuff and I'm being the jerk. All right, so here we are in the Rose Garden and it's got brick ground and some of these ledges used to be kind of skatable back then, but there's a lot of stuff sort of in the way. You couldn't get a flow going in here, but we'd try. And it was all new concrete back then. But right here, what we have is the first and probably only double set I ever ollied. So it's a 3 flat 3. And you go straight into this wall right there. So that was back when I was 13. So we're looking at 1995 and there was a whole group of us grade 8s trying to jump down that thing, just killing ourselves trying to be the first one. Happy to say I'm pretty sure it was me that was the first one, but I didn't do it much after. Slamming into that wall after wasn't much fun. And I'm not much of a gap guy. I mean, I liked him when I was younger, but you guys can see I don't jump down stuff. Hey, squirrely dude. How's it going? Oh, I can't believe it's still here. We got another spot I used to skate over and over and over again. What do we got here? A curb going down these steps. It's not even waxed. What's wrong with you kids? I thought kids these days liked the 90s. And you're not even skating this thing? Look at it. Beautiful. I used to just do slappy nose slides on this thing like over and over and over. I'm pretty sure it's probably because of this thing that on one of my trucks I actually wore right through into the pivot cup. I also had a friend who burst his spleen on this thing. I think he fell like on his elbow, all weird, and his mom found him passed out on his bed, like with internal bleeding later. Had to go to the hospital, you know, all that fun stuff, but he was okay. Okay, so right now I'm kind of in the center of the campus, and all around me you can see it's just like new buildings as far as you can see, except for this one back on the corner here. But pretty much nothing is what it used to be. It's all skate stopped, and you know, looks nice for people who don't skateboard. However, what I have found is something super 90s, and it's just like a little bump in the sidewalk, so it just goes up a tiny bit. Not like a curb cut, but just goes up a tiny bit. So I have to skate that because that's my kind of thing. So right behind me, there used to be the first 7 stair I ever ollied, and it was like the crustiest exposed aggregate ground with the worst run up and the worst landing. But it's amazing how you just skate whatever you have on hand when you're like 12, 13 years old. But across the street here, there is also a spot that we used to call 12 story. It's a parkade, and it looks like behind that building it might actually still be there. So let's go check it out. All right, so what do we have? We have our 90s version of a bank. We would skate this thing so much. You know, you go, do your trick, stop moving for 2 seconds, and then roll back down. And then what else there was an awesome curb. And I'm almost surprised that people aren't skating here, except back then it used to be bare concrete, and now it's that crappy painted on gravelly stuff. But this thing used to be super fun. I'm sure I learned a lot of tricks on here, you know, like backside tail slides, 5-0s, a lot of stuff. This thing was a super fun curb. I did bring some wax, and we're gonna try and get a grind in. Ooh, I don't know. Two trucks might be asking too much. All right, that was a grind. Woo! Oh. That was the trick to do in grade 8. Wait, maybe it was this one. Yeah, it was that one. Oh. Oh. All right, so I got a really mid-90s, early 90s trick on a bank here that was definitely done on here. All right, so I could go on, you know, but there's a difference between me and me at 13 and 12. So the difference is I got a family and kids and responsibilities, and I'm pushing it. So it's time to grab a coffee and go home. There's a ton more spots out here at UBC. I'm sure you'd enjoy them. I only covered a small amount of ground here, and I haven't been kicked out. It's Sunday, you know, before noon. It's been a good skate. If you live in Vancouver, or if you're visiting Vancouver, I would definitely recommend checking out UBC. It's different than it used to be. It's virtually unrecognizable to me. But there's also a skate park here, lots of cafes, coffee shops, stuff to do. I mean, learning. You could learn here, I guess. I just learned skateboard tricks here. I don't think I'm ever gonna go to this place. But anyways, it's time for this old carpentering, skateboarding, dadding guy to go and, like I said, have a coffee, go home, and live my life. So, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. And as always, may your next session be your best session yet. I know this is one of my favorite ones I've had, so. So, one quick note that I keep forgetting to bring up. And if you're actually still watching by this point, then you're one of the people that either may or may not care. But it's time for me to put ads on the channel. Over much internal debate, I've decided that it's actually the thing I need to do. My family needs the income, blah, 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 all those reasons, but it's time I do it. So, you know, not to be too hypocritical from my stance on it last year. I still feel that way, but being broke is a great negotiator. So, again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.